So we have Cloudy7 that says, "Hi, Robin and Laura. What are the farm tools that are available? We are thinking of doing the SS Unslow cruise plus the Walter Peak farm tour, but the timing didn't seem to fit the itinerary. We need your advice on this. Thanks." So we're going to be covering a little bit of the best farm tools available in New Zealand, and there's actually quite a lot of them. So we decided to kind of condense everything and give you about 5 different ones. They're spread over all of the country, so you will have the opportunity to place it wherever you want in your itinerary, because we weren't sure if it's, your issue was that you had not enough time in Queenstown to fit this tour. The Walter Peaks farm is in Queenstown, so to fit that within your time in Queenstown, you wanted to place it somewhere else in your itinerary, or if you wanted a different tour in Queenstown. So since we didn't have that much information on this one, we decided to give you some of our favorite farm tours all over the country, different type of farms as well, not just the typical kind of sheep farm, a little bit of different stuff, and all over the country. So we're going to give you basically the 5 that we like the most, and we're going to be starting with Walter Peak Farm, which is accessible from Queenstown, which is actually really cool.
Yeah, so Walter Peak Farm, the sort of awesome part of this experience is actually getting to the farm. It's a high country station. And it's also sort of like nestled between 2 mountains on the opposite side of the lake to where Queenstown is. So in order to get there, you take a historic steamship, the TSS Earnslaw, to get to the farm. So that's the first part of the experience. And this steamship is over 100 years old. You can actually do a bit of a tour walking around the steamship, see them putting the coal into the furnace and all this sort of thing. They also do like food, afternoon tea on there as well, which I think there's an additional cost for the afternoon tea portion of the tour, but there's a lot to do.
Everybody got to eat.
Yeah, there's plenty of eating and drinking options on the boat as well. So that's the first sort of experience of going to Walter Peak. So you take this steamship to the other side of the lake, and then when you get there, you have 2 options. You can either do an optional farm tour, or you can do a leisurely walk around the gardens. They have some quite nice gardens on the property as well, so you can do your own thing there. But the farm tour is definitely recommended, and that's really cool. You get to go to various paddocks where they have some cattle. They have some Scottish Highland cattle, the big ones with the furry faces, like the really massive horns, long sort of fur on them. So they're quite cool to see. And they have sheep as well, and you get to basically hand feed the animals, which is great. Also, if you're traveling with kids as well, they really love that sort of thing. So yeah, you get to do this little bit of a tour around the farm, and then sometimes they have some optional extras on their tours. For instance, they sometimes do dinners there, they sometimes do sheep shearing shows there, but the sort of standard tour at Walter Peak Farm is just doing this sort of tour of the farm where you get to basically feed the animals, and then after that you get to enjoy the steamship journey all the way back to Queenstown all over again. So yeah, that's pretty much the full experience in a nutshell for Walter Peak.
Wow, okay. So the next one that we have on our list is the Geraldine Farm Tour. So it's much less well known. Geraldine is basically on the way between Queenstown and making your way all the way to Mount Cook and Christchurch. So it's just in that area there. So that could be something that you want to do when you kind of leave Queenstown. Geraldine is a really cool farm as well. So there is this typical farm sceneries of New Zealand. There's backdrop of mountains, there's a bit of forest around everything. So there is really kind of, it does look really scenic and really nice. But they also do deer farming, and deer farming is kind of a big industry in New Zealand, and deers are so majestic. I love kind of looking at deers and everything. So there are some deer farms. Actually, I don't think that the deer farm, they actually own it. I think they go to a farm which is owned by someone else. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but maybe they own it, but I don't think they do. Anyway, they take you to a deer farm as well. You get to see up close deer. They are fantastically looking animals. I feel like it's really kind of unique things to check out, and I think like the one I'm going to be talking about, they're all a little bit unique, and just to give you a little bit of a different feel. Anyway, I won't elaborate as much as what Laura did, but Geraldine Farm Tours, go check out some deer. There is also some sheep, there is some mountain, there's all the goodies. You also get some feed as well. It's pretty awesome. Moving on to the next one, it's Agrodome.
Okay, Agrodome is I'd say one of the more popular farm tours to do in New Zealand. It's in Rotorua on the North Island, and there's two different things you can do there, or you can do them both. They have the farm show, and then they have the tour. So the show is kind of like, you're all sitting in the audience. They have a stage set up, and they get to they do sheep shearing demonstrations. They show some of the sheepdogs, they give them commands, and you can see the dogs doing the commands, even sometimes doing it on ducklings. They can sort of round up the ducklings on stage, which is pretty cool.
It's really awesome. The kids love seeing that. Like, love to see the dogs at work. The kids love it.
Yeah, and the show's really interactive as well. So sometimes they call people up on stage so they can feed the animals. They can
shear
the people. Can try and shear, or not shear the people. Well, that would be funny. But yeah, they even show you, do a demonstration, maybe get you to try and shear the sheep as well. So it's a really cool show. And yeah, there's a lot happening in there as well. And it sort of gives you a good overview of farming in New Zealand. And then the second option you can do at Agrodome is the farm tour. So you get into a tractor, and you are basically going around a farm and seeing various different aspects of the farm. They have, of course, animal feeding. You get to feed, there's sheep, there's cattle, there's pigs. So there's various different animals that you can go feed. And another really cool section to the tour as well is that you get to go and see some fruit orchards. So things like kiwi fruit are grown quite a lot in New Zealand. So they go to a kiwi fruit orchard, and you get to try some kiwi fruit juice made in New Zealand, for instance. So you get to really see quite a lot of different types of farming in New Zealand at the Agrodome. So yeah, that's a really cool tour to do in Rotorua. The next one?
The next one is Shamara Alpaca. So we do have a video of Shamara Alpaca there, so you guys can watch us do the whole tour. So I'm just going to go quite quickly because there is a 10-minute video of us doing it. But basically, they have alpacas. It's located near Akara, which is in the Banks Peninsula, which is close to Christchurch. It's on the South Island, and they have alpacas. Alpacas are really fun-looking animals. They're cute. They're super soft. It's kind of, it's fun. You get to feed the animals. You get to check out how they shear them, why they're farming alpacas. You get to really interact with them. They're really not shy type of animals. So if you do have food, they will all rush towards you. Amazing picture opportunity. One of the fantastic things with alpaca is that they're kind of high and tall animals, so it's kind of easy to take pictures with them because they're literally right the same size than you.
They're very good for taking selfies.
Exactly. So I find this is a very easy animal. You have to bend down, take a picture with a chicken or a sheep. But an alpaca is just, it has evolved to be perfect for selfie. And so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's fantastic, and they have some amazing product actually in their gift shop. I think Laura is wearing a hat from them actually right now. So yeah, fantastic looking Laura with fantastic looking beanie. But no, really soft for wool. It's really fun, and same thing. It's a different kind of feel and different kind of farm. So that's why I picked this one. And Laura's last pick was Sheep World. Where is Sheep World?
Yes, Sheep World is in a place called Warkworth, which is about an hour north of Auckland Central. And Sheep World, as the name suggests, it's all about sheep in New Zealand. So they do sort of sheep shearing demonstrations there. They allow you to feed the sheep. They sort of tell you about the various different wool in New Zealand as well. So that's a really comprehensive tour about sheep farming in New Zealand, which is really awesome. And it's also a really good place for families to go to. And for instance, they have a cafe there, so you can just relax in a cafe. They have children's play areas and all that sort of stuff. But they also have a native bushwalk as well, so you can learn a little bit about the nature side of New Zealand and how farming and nature works together. So that's a really cool aspect of Sheep World as well.
So there is obviously much more farm tours in New Zealand, and you can find more information on all those farm tours on www.nzpocketsguide.com. We have plenty of articles covering that, and even more. It's all free to use, so just plan your trip on nzpocketguide.com. It works. Yeah. And if you did find this video useful, if you think that all the information we're sharing with you guys right now is useful, just hit the like button. It's a great way to say thank you for all our hard work. Plus, it's free to do, so it's pretty awesome. And finally, like and subscribe, all this kind of stuff if you want more from us. Thank you for watching, and let's go back to the live chat.